nuwe lied. Jou Christelike Lewenswyse Radiostasie.
Klets met Corné.
Gesels saam oor alles.
En nog wat.
Goeiedag julle pragtige mense, baie welkom by Klets met Corné. Ek is Corné, ek en jy gaan kyk na kragtige alternatiewe in regering, ekonomie, opvoeding of onderwys, opleiding, hoe jy ook al daarna wil kyk, en gesondheid. Ons is by Kragdag 2026, dag 2, en ek praat saam met jou met 'n paar baie interessante mense, en min kom meer interessant is my volgende gas. Eerste plek net, baie welkom. Ons het al laas jaar met hom gepraat, as julle gaan kyk na City Gates, wat die maatskappy is, maar Daryl Hardy, thank you so much for being here, welcome.
Bye, donkey. Good morning, Corné. Yeah, honored to be on air with you this morning with this podcast. But yeah, what a beautiful day today at Kragdag. The weather's absolutely perfect. The numbers are coming in, and we had to make a change. So I think it's a perfect platform because I think everyone knows it's time for some serious change, good change, and can't wait to share it and unpack it with you.
Absolutely. Now, interesting thing, friends, is that if you speak to people, usually they've got like, what do you do? This is what I do. You know, and they explain the business. With Daryl, it's a bit of a different thing, and you'll see now why. It's not a thing. It's it's like a wave and another wave and another wave of things just coming. Very innovative, very much there for changing stuff. And that's one of the things I love about Kragdag is people see problems and they find solutions. So, liewe vriende, as jy wil mense hê wat oplossings vind, is daar min mense wat so aktief is. Soos hierdie lot hierso. Please, I know it's like a few different things, and I want you to give us the overview of what you are doing at this moment.
Bye, donkey. Thank you, Corné. Yeah, so we it's been 10 years in the making. We teamed up with Kragdag 10 years ago under City Gates to market it because we saw the ability and the potential of what can be done here. And man, what an incredible 10 years, from 50 exhibitors to over 700. But it's taken us a couple of years to get to this point, and we finally have every single one of the gears together where we had to launch a movement, which is basically gesprek in Afrika, created in Africa, because of the incredible patent abilities, original ideas that come from us. But we used to, I'm a 1975 issue. We were just chatting a little bit earlier about our age and our years, but I remember a day when we used to export incredible products. Yeah. And what we're saying is, why not, number one, get back there, number two, why not make it a bit bigger? And, China did it in 35 years from being fifth poorest in the world. Yeah. Corné, they didn't have enough food or rice to feed their people. And just through manufacturing, sending empty vessels, empty ships, they'd have to go and collect the resources, take it back, produce it, and sell it. Yeah. And they only got 20% arable land in terms of 80% of it is not. So we got exactly the opposite. Number one, we got a huge continent, always a wrestle on identity. I'd love to unpack and tell you a bit about that. And then, of course, we got incredible natural resources, underground and on ground. Yeah. We did some, my background, mechanical engineering, just never grew out of Lego blocks, always on a build and create. But I've realized that we have the ability, in humility, we have the ability to create. And that was my word this morning, Revelation 4:11. And when we realize that each and every one of us are actually born to create, that's a game changer because the value was never in the coin. Yeah. If China did it in 35 years, Africa can do it much quicker. And that's why we're here, is to launch a movement called gesprek in Afrika.
Ek dink dit is so 'n mooi prentjie wat jy gesê het van ons is gemaak om te kan skep en om te kan innoveer. En ek het net hierdie ding van ons is geskep deur 'n skepper en in sy image, wat beteken ons dra 'n deel daarvan in ons. En ek hou van Kragdag. Ek onthou seker omtrent so 3 jaar terug het ek eendag net hier rondgeloop en met soveel interessante mense, dis nie net interessant nie, dit is slim. Hulle eie goede wat hulle gepatenteer het en uitgedink het en goed en dit. Toe ek by die huis kom, toe sê ek vir hy ons gaan okay wees. Daar's baie mense weg, maar hier's soveel slim mense nog. Dis nie net mense wat vasbyt nie, dis mense wat planne maak en slim goed uitdink. So ek dink ek stem absoluut saam met jou. Ek weet 'n bietjie van die geskiedenis van 'n paar lande soos China wat in 20 jaar, 30 jaar lande se ekonomie totaal omdraai. Okay, so how are you going to present the stuff to us today?
All right. So basically, everyone is, it's a movement. It's not owned by anyone. It's a mark you can see over there too. Just a little bit about this too. You'll see that there's a fingerprint over there.
Yeah.
There's been a massive wrestle on Africa recently, even with the March and so on, where people are moving around for jobs, etc. Yet the value is never in the coin. And I'm just going to lay it out straight up. If you look carefully here, you'll see M2221. And that was the final question that when the only time the Pharisees and Sadducees stood together was when they wanted to crucify Christ. And standing in front of the Son of God, they outwitted them completely. And he said, okay, whose coin and image is on it? And a lot of us thought it's just a tax answer. It's a lot more. It's a system.
Yeah.
And he said, he said, well, that's Caesar's. Die keizer se. Gee terug aan die keizer, wat die keizer is in this. And, but he said, give back to Caesar what Caesar's, but render to God what is God's. In other words, the key is for us to ask the Lord who we are, number one, because we've got different giftings and abilities. So identity, yes, first and foremost. We know where identity comes from, but we are African. And it was an honor yesterday too. After listening to talk Adams Roots, and we had Steve Hoffman on, I gave him one of these shirts because it's in a wrestle with identity and said, we're African.
Yeah.
Says, if you do a DNA on yourself or me, you're going to see you've been here for 300 plus years in our DNA structure. We're from this beautiful continent. And why we're excited about it is that it's actually written already in the Word. It says, from the southern rivers of Kush, worshippers will arise. And the key is for us to understand that werke is hemels. So we teamed up with Kragdag because it's real. Eenvoudige planne wat vir groot wat sit probleme kan uitsorteer. And that's why we're here. We're here for massive change. But what's amazing this year, Corné, that I'd love to just let the listeners know about is that for the first time, all the gears came together. We have from SolidWorks, which is AutoCAD, etc., that they're giving those programs at no cost under to the actual every child at school level. We even looking at connecting them with the homeschoolers so they got access to it, right through to the mentoring, the energy production, local product, local extrusion, local injection molding, local technology, local power, die batterymaatskappy. But the amazing thing is that if you look at the history of South Africa, we were always in the top 3 in terms of number of patents. And that's what got me stirred when I was finishing up my BTech engineering. I went off, I had 2 hours to spare. My wife did medicine, and I had 2 hours to kill. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do? And I went to the patents office, because back those days, it's too expensive to work through Adams and Corné, but we would do our own ones. We'd buy the own stamps ourselves, government stamps, and register our own patents and copyrights, etc., thinking that that's the way to do it. And we realized that it's fear-based. There's another way of doing it afterwards. But the guy allowed me in, and I said, listen, I've got 2 hours to kill. And he allowed me into an area probably the size of this beautiful studio of yours. And I went through patents, Corné, that were 30, 40, 50 years out of patent that could transform. I'm now going back 25 years ago, transform industry right then. And I realized that the value is not in the coin. The value is in that idea. People are the real economy. And that's what Jesus meant by render to God what is God's. So we've seen with the currency control and so on as youngsters, as the guys born in the 70s will remember where we used to only put out 82 cents for $1 and now it's 16 Rand something for $1. So the key is for us to realize that we actually have an incredible creative ability. Of course, it's through humility. It's a God-given gift. There's a gawe, there's a talent. And one day the only thing that we're going to be questioned on, Corné, is what did we do with that gawe, with that gifting, that ability?
I agree. And I'm so glad you mentioned this, that the real value is in the people. And I want to encourage you, friends, if you sit there, it is in this country very easy to complain. There's lots to complain about. But you can't just get stuck there. You need to take the next step and in faith do something. Because the answer is in the people and what God has deposited in everyone. Totally. There is enough stuff. I want to say cleverness, but it's not just about clever. There's enough things invested in God's people to make a huge difference and to change things around. I am so on board with your thinking along those lines. Okay, so now maybe if you want to tell us just, I know we're going to speak to a few of your people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just mention how it's going, what it is, how, kind of an overview of different departments or whatever you call them.
So you'll notice the movement. It's created-in.africa of geskep, koppelteken in .africa, Africa. And we got all the different languages too, which is incredible. But what we're basically telling you is that actually the idea is right there. 'n ou boer maak 'n plan konsep, nee. En elke boer se skuur is daar 2, 3, 4, 5 great ideas. So eintlik wat ons hier doen is ons launch it. We're just releasing it, Corné, saying, hey, it just needs light and water. So we've given a lot of the youngsters that are involved through Africa Skills, the Ambach, we're behind Adopt an Artisan. We've given them a platform. That's all it is. So say, come and bring your products to market. Come and show the people. And instead of it the worldly system where the guys a Dragon's Den thing where you have the one corporate buying all the ideas up, we say, let's release the ideas through collaboration. So that brings me to the question that you gave me is, it's a collaborative launch of industry coming together, actual products, starting with actual Schools Africa Skills, actual release of the software required, AutoCAD and that given to the kids to utilize, helping them with 3D prints, helping them with mentoring them with the tool making process, because remember, economies of scale kick in if you choose the right processes, and all that experience that we've had where we've made 20 years of mistakes, etc., say, hey, this is what we've learned, because we want to expedite it. It comes down to a switch of back to a real economy. What's a New York Stock Exchange or the JSE, the value is just not there. I'm telling you straight up, the value is not there. It's in those ideas. And I noticed too, as mentioned to you, I'm married to medicine. My wife's a physician, an internist. But our son and daughter, we got a chemical engineer, 3rd year over there, and also mechanical engineering, my son's side. But I used to do all the science project with him, Corné, every year. And I was astounded to see these ideas. I'm now going back 10, 12 years ago. But I would go out and we would compete. The one year my son would say, but Dad, listen, we got to nationals last year. Let's see if we can go a bit further, etc. And I realized, I walked through those halls and halls, and I looked at the light in those little kids' eyes and how excited and proud they are of that. And I asked myself, why am I not seeing it in industry? I'm in industry. I've got multiple businesses I've built up, etc. I've realized those ideas create businesses, and a byproduct of businesses are jobs. Not the other way around. The politicians with the job creation, it's a lie. But in any case, I realized that there's no shortage of ideas. All we have to do is give them a platform, and we just got to mentor them and just give them that encouragement, that nudging, Corné, to actually take it into industry. We need more entrepreneurs.
Agree. I remember when I was in China in 2010 at the World Expo. I met with a lot of industry people there that wanted to work with South Africa or were busy working with South Africa, and they had the same thing. They said that they would like to work more with South Africa, but the people don't want to work. It was just a very great eye-opening thing of how they look at industry here and what they're doing that side. And
difference in culture, complete difference.
It is way different. And I realized that we are in trouble here if things don't change. It is it is a huge culture of
mindset.
Of wanting to get a salary but not producing something of worth.
That's right.
And so yours is very practical, what I like. That's where the time meets the
that
road.
cultural shift has to happen. Maybe just to shoot straight to is, I think it's important, and so I really appreciate this platform, is that you guys unpack it and you're fearless. The problem is it comes with false belief systems. There's the one is a prosperity gospel, like God owes me something. No, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. God paid it all. We have to release what he put inside of us. So that's a one lie, that one narrative. And then you have another lie, and that is that the system or man owes you something. And you've got this grant system where we have a country where we have 29.8 million. That's correct. 46.9% of our population, almost 50% of population, on a grant system. Now, I guarantee if you go and analyze it, Corné, you'll find that less than 10% of them should be deserving of it. In terms of that they really cannot produce, etc. So we have found that what they do is to divide and conquer. They utilize the handout system. And it's actually called, we call it dead aid. It's not live aid. Because charity is a gateway towards poverty. We need to empower. That's why it's exactly the opposite. And it's a cultural shift that has to happen, correct.
I find that when the politicians call something for the people, it is hardly ever for the people's benefit.
100%. We've got something even funnier than you've heard of, we've now got upcoming elections, 4th of November and so on. But we call it poly-tricks, poly being many and tricks. And there's another one too, poly-ticks, what a blood-sucking tick does. Anyway, but the point is that, I think we're all done with the promises. We're done with the stories. It's time to walk the talk. And the truth is that no politician can create a sustainable job.
Yeah.
And jobs are a byproduct of a business, but a business is a byproduct of number one, a cultural shift, realizing that I have an idea, and that idea will create a business if I follow through.
Yeah.
So we want to just nudge them, give them a platform, say, come on, guys, maybe it needs a bit of light, so it needs just a bit of exposure,
Yeah.
or maybe it needs a bit of mentoring, or
Yeah.
whatever be it. But let's
Okay.
release these
Let's do
ideas
something.
into economy.
Okay. I love it. Shall we start with your people to see what we can get out
That'll
of
be an
them?
honor. Thank you very much to your incredible platform. Appreciate it. And,
Just give us some contact details. If people want to speak to you, get in contact with you, how do they do that?
It'll be an honor. I'm going to give you direct domain. It's just www.created-it.africa or geskep, koppelteken in .africa. And you can email us at info@created-in.africa directly.
Okay.
Become a part of the movement. You're already involved in it. You've already got an idea. Every garage, every single, skier has already got a brilliant idea. Let's take it to market. Let's get the world buying our goods and not take our natural resources.
Ja. Julle ons is so geseënd in hierdie land. Dis regtig, as ek dink net oor die wêreld, afgelope paar jaar, hoe meer ek uitvind van die res van die wêreld, hoe meer is ek vas oortuig ons is op die regte plek. Hierdie is die paradys. Nie sonder probleme nie, maar in alle opsigte tussen die mense en die natuurlike rykdom van die plek en net die weer en die golfbane.
Absoluut, absoluut.
Enige ding, hierdie is die paradys. So doen jou ding en ek sien uit na die volgende gesprekke met die mense van Created in Africa. So wees in die uitkyk daarvoor vir die volgende ding. Thank you so much for your time.
Corné,
Looking
baie
forward
dankie,
to it,
waardeer.
Luister nou na Radio Nuwe.
Jou Christelike Lewenswyse Radiostasie.
Klets, kuier, luister en leer in Afrikaans.